Every election cycle, politicians tell voters about their experience, their principles, and all the accomplishments they've racked up over years in the office. The May 19th primaries just reminded Washington that none of those things necessarily guarantee political survival. In less than 24 hours, two prominent Republican lawmakers saw their political careers come crashing down. Neither lost to Democrats, neither was caught in a scandal. Instead, both became casualties of a larger battle happening inside of the GOP. And the message their defeat sends to Washington is impossible to ignore. Let's start with Thomas Massie. And if you asked most political observers a few months ago whether he was in danger of losing, they probably would have laughed at you. Massie wasn't some unknown congressman. He was one of the most recognizable faces in the House, famous for voting against spending bills, challenging leadership, and refusing to simply go along with the crowd. He was independent. His willingness to oppose both parties earned him the nickname Mr. No. And for years, that independence was part of his appeal. But as election approached, Massie found himself increasingly at odds with Donald J. Trump. Days before the primary, he dismissed Trump's attacks as desperate and appeared confident that his conservative record would protect him. Spoiler alert, it did not. And notice how Axios framed the result, not as a victory for his challenger, but as a victory for Donald Trump. That's because this race ultimately became less about Massie's voting record and more about loyalty to the MAGA movement. When the votes were counted, Massie lost by nearly 10 points, ending one of the most independent careers in the Republican conference. Then came Bill Cassidy. Unlike Massie, Cassidy wasn't known for challenging Republicans. For most of his career, he was actually a fairly conventional conservative senator who voted with his party on the overwhelming majority of issues. Yet there was one decision that followed him for years. In 2021, Cassidy became one of the only 7 Republican senators who voted to convict Donald J. Trump during his impeachment trial. Many assumed voters would eventually move on, but they didn't. 5 years later, Cassidy finished third in his own primary. A sitting incumbent U.S. senator finished third. That's an extraordinary outcome and a reminder that political memories can last much longer than politicians expect. After the election, Cassidy said he had voted to uphold the Constitution. Whether you agree with him or not isn't really the point. The bigger story is what these races reveal about today's GOP. For decades, politicians were told that elections were won through experience, policy achievements, and years of service. These primaries suggest something else may matter even more: alignment with the movement itself. Thomas Massie had built a reputation for independence. Bill Cassidy built a reputation for principle. In the end, neither was enough. Whether you see that as accountability or a warning depends on your politics. But one thing is strikingly clear. Every Republican in Washington watched these results come in, and every Republican in Washington got the memo. The question now isn't what happened to Massie and Cassidy. The question is, who's next? Drop your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to like and subscribe for more content. As always, the next majority zooming out.